Hi, welcome to Synopsis. Today I will show you a film from 2011 titled Change Up. Spoilers ahead. Watch out and take care. Dave is an average married family man with 3 children who has long forgotten what it is like to have fun. His experiences with his children just drive him crazy at times. At work, however, he is quite successful and is up for a partner review. His supervisor is already congratulating him, but tells him to take off his tie, which looks disgusting. Sabrina comes in to comfort him. She has a little crush on Dave. He checks her out, but the thought of him being married does not leave his mind. Mitch is a single, carefree guy who ditched high school and works as an actor. His father is not exactly proud of him, but invites him to his wedding next Saturday anyway, which Mitch declines, saying he'll catch the next one. It's a pretty sad sight. Dave is spending some father time with his babies when his wife Jamie comes in and tells him about an evening of conversation where they both sit together for an hour and talk about everything. Dave has completely forgotten about it and unfortunately cannot make it today because he promised to meet Mitch and watch a game with him. They have been putting it off for 3 months now and Jamie says disappointedly that she can do Monday night too. Mitch visits Dave's household and nonchalantly greets his daughter, and makes fun of the other little ones for still not being able to speak, like they are somewhat slow. They drive to a bar together to spend some quality time as the old friends would. Mitch is just enjoying his time, but Dave is still in his serious mode, until they get totally wasted. Dave tells Mitch about his law associate Sabrina, admitting that he is hungry for her, but he is married, he can't. In turn, Mitch tells him about a girl named Tatiana, his 3 a.m. booty call, and she is one hell of a ride. Ultimately, Dave regrets that he skipped all the fun in college and went straight for family life. Mitch, on the other hand, thinks he would be happy with such a beautiful house, wife and kids. He would never feel alone. Each one of them desires something the other has. Freedom or family. As they take a leak at the fountain, they simultaneously say that they wish they had each other's life. A blackout occurs, but they don't pay it much mind. Mitch wakes up in Dave's body in the morning and is looking for his bong. He realizes that something is wrong as Jamie is near him feeding the baby. Mitch, still unsure of what is going on, just straight asks if he nailed her. Jamie just thinks he is drunk. He looks in the mirror and notices that they swapped bodies. Mitch arrives at his apartment and tells Dave, who is in Mitch's body, what is going on. Dave is confused and starts choking him, thinking it's all a nightmare. Mitch starts gouging his eyes out and that serves as his wake-up call. They go to the mirror and realize that one of them is a douchebag and the other is a fucking tool. They remember wishing for the other's life when they pissed in the fountain last night. They quickly make their way to the fountain, only to find that it is being restored. Their next stop is the district manager. After standing in a horribly long line, the secretary tells them that info about the fountain is not in the computer and they should come back tomorrow. Mitch loses his temper for a moment and they leave before the police arrive. The duo begins to discuss their plans for the day. Dave has a meeting today that will decide whether or not he makes partner. As for Mitch, he has a big movie coming up today. Mitch tells him that he can play a lawyer in his sleep and that it will be fine, which of course Dave doesn't buy for a second, but he has no choice. Dave advises Mitch to change clothes, contact Sabrina and not say a word at the meeting, just hand over the documents. Sounds simple, doesn't it? The same goes for Dave. Mitch asks him to do his best in the movie. It would be his big break. Mitch arrives at the company, a little lightly dressed and feeling really out of place. He finds the room with the free goodies and also meets Sabrina. After some inappropriate comments, she hands him the paperwork to submit at the merger meeting. Mitch enters the meeting, still munching on chips with a Coke in his hand. His boss is furious because he's late. He clowns around at the table and is soon confronted with a series of questions to which he has no idea how to respond. The whole deal with the Chinese goes off the rails as both parties believe they are being sabotaged. Mitch's boss scolds him for not delivering, but he just says that in 15 years he's never let him down and it's part of his larger master plan. Trust me, bro, which his boss agrees to do. Dave arrives at a dump, gets his makeup done and learns he's being shot in Lorno. Something he didn't sign up for, especially not with Mona. As per the cheap script, he knocks out the security guard and after kissing her bosom, he makes light love to her. Back to Mitch, who picks up Dave's daughter. He witnesses her being bullied by her classmate and the teacher just ignores it. In the car, he asks her what that was about. Dave had told her to strive for a verbal solution. Mitch tells her to forget it, make a shiv and shank that kid. Dave's daughter is a little confused, but tells him that's what she's going to do. They meet in a bar and Dave goes off on Mitch for letting him film in that garbage. After Mitch admits the deal went sour, they head to Jamie's place to admit they switched bodies. It also doesn't go well when he tries to prove his identity with a question only he should know, like Jamie's birthday, which he answers wrong and Mitch answers right, as well as her favorite color. Mitch somehow knows that it is Celadon. To prevent this type of situation, Dave tells Jamie something really embarrassing about her that only he could know. It involves a vibrator and a short circuit. Just when he thinks she understands, she goes off on both of them because Dave revealed her secret to Mitch. It was a bad plan. Dave leaves and Mitch asks him what he's going to do when Jamie comes at him like a hurricane. Maybe he needs to tap that. A man can only take so much temptation. Dave is in disbelief, but when he learns it's Tuesday, he tells him that when she does come on him, just drill that. At the dinner table, Mitch is confronted with the reality of a family where everyone's problems must be listened to. He hastily dismisses his daughter's concerns and Jamie is incredulous. She asks him to sing a dinner song and after he reluctantly agrees, he sings something that is definitely not a dinner song. When he realizes that Jamie will not let him eat, he slowly disappears with the chicken while Jamie just gives him the stare. Dave gets a call. It's Tatiana, she's going to do him raw in a minute. Dave calls Mitch and tells him about her, who begs him not to screw things up with Tatiana. He's been reeling her in for some time. Tatiana storms into the apartment and Dave is overwhelmed by her beauty. But there's a problem, her due date is in a week. He can even see the baby kicking and asks her to go to the hospital. Just when Mitch thinks he can finally get it on with Jamie, she sits down on a toilet and says she needs to cut back on Thai food. It's disgusting. When she comes to sleep, he tells her not to come at him guns hot and to hose that crap out. He is not attracted to her. Those words really hurt her. When the babies cry, Mitch refuses to get up, but he is pushed out by the angry Jamie. The kids really are not the angels Mitch thought they were. Dave is doing his business when he gets a call from him asking for instructions on how to feed the babies. He takes the little ones to the kitchen and looks for breast milk. Some problems with the twins quickly arise, as they have been left alone, like with the blender, the butcher knife and many other things. Meanwhile Dave keeps telling him how to heat the milk. Mitch gives up and just pours the milk over them. The next day Dave goes to the district manager's office. He inquires about the fountain, but is told he has to fill out a form and the state has to approve it. It would take 3 days to 3 weeks. Dave comes home and sees Jamie crying. She tells him that Mitch, who is in Dave's body, has been acting strange. He wore sandals to work, forgot to pick up the twins, and told her he's not attracted to her anymore. Dave is going to kill him. He says they are just going through a temporary rough patch, but Jamie says it's been going on for years, which surprises him. She just wants him to be there for her and not focus so much on the job. He's great, but it makes her feel miserable. She wants him to make partners at the firm and just try to be happy, because otherwise, how can you stay married to someone who is not capable of being happy? Mitch says he cannot do this anymore, not even for an hour. Dave accuses him of being a quitter. Jamie and the kids are his whole life. Giving up is out of the question. Dave starts teaching him how to do all his grown-up crap. From getting dressed and keeping a schedule to grocery shopping and taking care of the kids. Think of yourself as a brain-damaged mule lost in the desert. Before making a decision, always consult with your wife. When Sabrina comes into the office, Mitch inappropriately sets her up on a date with Dave, telling him that this is his once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to nail that, in front of her. After Dave leaves, Mitch's father calls and he reluctantly agrees to meet with him. At the coffee shop, his father tells him that he would like to see Mitch at the wedding. His son has many good qualities, but in the end he is a failure who has accomplished nothing. It tears Mitch up and he says something along the lines of being a Jedi and slitting throats. Confusing, I know. To prove to himself that he is not a quitter, Mitch begins to take Dave's duties seriously, taking care of the babies, work duties and shopping. He even attended his daughter's ballet performance. She finally showed the bully who's boss, and Mitch is proud of her. In the car, the little girl says, "I love you, Daddy," and that's when it hits Mitch. Dave does all these chores just to hear those words. Dave shows up for the date Mitch has arranged. It's a little awkward, but after Sabrina admits she has a crush on Dave, he goes all out and starts goofing off. Outside, they decide to do something they'll regret the next morning. Oh yeah, you know what it is. Getting a tattoo. She enjoyed her date and will wait for his call. The next morning, Jamie reveals to Mitch that they are having their anniversary party soon, and that's when he asks why he was not invited. Dave is embarrassed by Mitch. Today is their evening conversation at a coffee house and she reminds him not to forget. Dave gets a call from the district manager's office about the fountain. They've found it. After all the freedom he's had, he doesn't look too thrilled about it. At the office, Dave is confronted by Sabrina. She gives him tickets to a game and really advises him to cancel any other plans he has at this point. Mitch is not thrilled with the idea of switching back either, since the merger mediation is tomorrow and he's been busting his butt off for it. They agree to postpone the switch for a day, maybe a week or a month, since both of them are enjoying each other's lives. What could possibly go wrong? At the coffee house, Jamie is left waiting, while Mitch stays to prepare for mediation. When Jamie calls him 2 hours later to ask if he forgot anything, he is not sure. This leaves her heartbroken. Finally, the long-awaited meeting is underway and the offer they have received for the company is $625 million. Mitch suggests to his bosses to pump that number by an unreasonable amount, $100 million. He compares this to a girl who says she doesn't want to sleep with you tonight, but continues to kiss you anyway. His bosses and coworkers think it's an absurd idea, but the chairman is convinced. He makes the offer and leaves. It worked. They sold the company for $725 million. Mitch has successfully closed the deal. He tells Jamie that he is going to be a partner. It is one of the best days of his life. He has finally achieved something. Dave returns from a baseball game with Sabrina. She loves his apartment, feels like she's in high school, and is about to lose her V-card. Dave is nervous, but Sabrina tells him to relax. He is going to get laid tonight. She slowly lets him take off her shoes and bra. which is what Dave dreamed of for a long time now. At the partners meeting, Mitch learns all Dave has accomplished in his life and that there is only one thing he loves more than the law: his family, his beautiful wife Jamie and his children. Mitch is starting to feel like an imposter. His wife is extremely depressed. After Dave notices a tattoo on Sabrina that reminds him of Jamie, he gets a wake-up call and tells her he's sorry and needs to go see someone. Dave storms into the ceremony at the country club and kisses Jamie. From everyone else's point of view, it's a little strange, but Jamie immediately understands that it's Dave. "We tried to tell you." They rush to the new location of the magic fountain to take a piss. It's a mall and it's crowded. They try to be inconspicuous, but Mitch cannot start peeing. Dave gets noticed and the mall goes quiet. Mitch begins to wonder why he was not invited to Dave's anniversary. He thinks he is an embarrassment. Dave says he was an embarrassment, but now he is really proud of him. That's what Mitch wanted to hear. They yell that they want their old life back. The lights go out and they sneak away from the guards. Dave wakes up, finally back in his body. He wakes Jamie up and tells her that there is nothing more important than her and that he got the harsh reminder of it for this past week. He will do everything in his power to make her and their kids happy from now on. Mitch also wakes up and is so happy to be back in his beautiful body. Dave has left him a reminder of his love. Sabrina left her purse at his place and came back to get it. He apologizes for last night and wants to straighten things out between them. He also made it to his father's wedding. A month later, Mitch is giving a speech for Dave and Jamie's wedding anniversary. He's goofing around, but his words are really sweet. In the end, they are happy to be themselves. Thank you for watching. Subscribe if you'd like to see more videos like this.